Hey everyone, it's Epoch here, and welcome to my entry into this week's comic book cover challenge set by Alan the Comic Collector Geek. This week's theme is anthropomorphic animal covers. So any covers that feature animals who are anthropomorphic, so animals that take on human characteristics, so walk and talk like a human, dress like a human, or whatever. So I've dove into my personal comic book collection and picked out 10 covers featuring anthropomorphic animals that I'd like to show you today. So let's take a look. First up this week is Shazam number 8. This is number 10 on the list because the anthropomorphic animals are quite small on the cover. It's this character here in this circle box, which is Mr. Tawny, who is an anthropomorphic tiger. It's just a kind of fun strip of this anthropomorphic tiger dresses dresses in a suit and walks about. So that's an appearance of Mr. Tawny on the cover of Shazam number 8. In ninth place this week is Dark Horse Presents number 4, which is the first appearance of this character here, Trekker. But Trekker's not the reason I have this cover on the challenge today. It's for this character here, Boris the Bear, who is an anthropomorphic bear. I don't really know much about the strip. I've not read it, but I think it's quite a humorous strip from what I've heard. But again, the reason this one is lower down on the list is because the anthropomorphic character, in this case Boris the Bear, is quite small on the cover here in this circle box. So that's Dark Horse Presents number 4. In at number 8 this week, we have the sensational She-Hulk number 14, which features Howard the Duck on the cover. Howard the Duck, of course, anthropomorphic duck, quite a satirical comic. Howard the Duck's quite funny. I really love his book as well, especially his villain, Dr. Bong. I really think he's quite funny. But we're here for Howard the Duck here. It's just a fun character who teamed up with She-Hulk for a little bit here in our book. So that's Howard the Duck on the cover of Sensational She-Hulk number 14. Next up this week is Basics of Roller Derby, which is a book that was put out by a local publisher here in the UK, which teaches the basics of the rules of the game of roller derby for these anthropomorphic animals. So we have the zebra here as the referee, rhinoceros as a blocker, and a leopard here as a starjammer, kind of racing forward there in the game. I love roller derby. I love going to see roller derby matches for my local team. Shout out to Glasgow Roller Derby. But this is just a fun comic book that was on sale at one of the stalls there in one of the games I went to. It just teaches you the rules of roller derby if you don't already know them in a fun way. So that's these anthropomorphic animals here on the cover of Basics of Roller Derby. Next up this week is Animal Jam number 0, which was a Free Comic Day book that was issued on Free Comic Book Day a number of years ago. Here on the cover we have a bunch of animals in armour ready for action. We have like a tiger and a koala bear here in the back, for example, and they just look like they're ready for for a big fight, all dressed in their armour, ready to go. I don't actually remember much about this book. I can't even remember if I read it or not. But yeah, it's just a fun looking cover there with all these anthropomorphic animals ready for action. So that's Animal Jam number 0. In fifth place this week is Bastard Bunny number 1, which is a book that I picked up in a dollar bin last year. In fact, I picked up the first 3 issues. It's a UK book, which is about this bunny here who's a bit of a bastard. It's a humour book or humour story for mature readers. And the tagline here, it says the world's most violent rodent, now in his first kind of full length adventure or something like that. So yeah, it's just kind of an interesting one. It grabbed my eye with the bright colours, and the other issues had bright coloured kind of backgrounds as well. So yeah, it's just a quirky one that I mean it's not something I guess you see very often, but that's the kind of the bunny here, the kind of oi looking punk looking bunny here on the cover of Bastard Bunny number 1. In at number 4 this week is the Ren and Stimpy Show number 31, which features the anthropomorphic characters Ren and Stimpy. I had this book a long time, and I used to watch Ren and Stimpy when it was on in the early 90s. Of course, one of them's anthropomorphic a chihuahua and the other is an anthropomorphic cat, I think. But yeah, Ren and Stimpy, just kind of a fun kind of comedy show that I used to enjoy when I was a kid. And here they are on the cover of a comic book. In this case, they've become wiener barons or kind of like millionaires of wieners. So they're kind of like and amongst all the kind of sausages there, like Scrooge McDuck and his gold coins. So it's just a fun cover to show off the anthropomorphic Ren and Stimpy on the cover of the Ren and Stimpy Show number 31. In third place this week is Biker Mice from Mars at number 1, which was a comic book adaptation of the Biker Mice from Mars television series. Of course, when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got really popular, all these kind of similar shows started popping up. One of them was Street Sharks, and then there's this one, Biker Mice from Mars, which features these anthropomorphic mice who ride motorcycles and fight villainy wherever they see it. It was a fun series. I enjoyed it when I was a kid. I still enjoy it now. It was quite fun. And this is the comic book adaptation, so the anthropomorphic mice on the cover of Biker Mice from Mars at number 1. And speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my second place goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures number 1, which is a recent book put out by IDW, which is set in the continuity of the original kind of cartoon series, the 80s cartoon series, which is the version of the Turtles that I grew up to love, or Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles as it was here in the UK for a while, because the word ninja was considered too violent. Of course, Ninja Turtles originated in the comics, but this is the iteration of the Turtles that I grew up with and loved the most from the animated series, and this is a kind of a new story set within that continuity. So that's the anthropomorphic Ninja Turtles on the cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures number 1. And my number 1 pick this week goes to Usagi Yojimbo number 10, which is a cover that I've shown several times before, but is absolutely one of my favourite Usagi Yojimbo covers, if not my favourite. Of course, on the cover we have the anthropomorphic rabbit Usagi Yojimbo. Of course, Usagi is the Japanese word for rabbit, as he's kind of leaping forward with his samurai sword there, ready to attack Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, who of course is an anthropomorphic turtle. And this is just a great meeting between Usagi Yojimbo and the Ninja Turtles, this book, and I just love this cover. I've always loved it. So that's why it's my number 1 pick for the anthropomorphic animal challenge. So that's Usagi Yojimbo number 10. So that was my entry into this week's comic book cover challenge set by Alan the Comic Collector Geek. This week's theme was, of course, anthropomorphic animals. So if you'd like to take part, then just pick out 10 comic book covers from your personal collection that feature anthropomorphic animals, and make a video and use the hashtags animal covers and hashtag Friday Comic Challenge. The reason for the hashtag being animal covers rather than anthropomorphic animal covers is just because it's so long. But if you use those hashtags, hashtag animal covers and hashtag Friday Comic Challenge, that way everyone that kind of takes part in these challenges can click on those hashtags, see everyone else's entries, check them out, and you never know, maybe see some cool books that they want to add to their own collection, or likewise, if you check out other folks' videos, you might see some cool stuff that you want to add to your personal comic book collection as well. If you'd like to check out some of my previous entries into the comic book cover challenge, then please click on this playlist that's linked here at the side, and otherwise I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.